teachers or school owners and teachers also rubbing on children around us. So before we continue, we just want to introduce the program to us. So I'd like us to introduce ourselves individually. Who are you? Let's meet you. Let's know what level do you interact with children. So let's start with from the left.
Me, I'm the artist. I'm a social worker for my family, and I have 2 sons. Sons are I got something in the university last month, secondary school.
All right, so welcome. Okay, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Abokede.
So let's pick up because of the.
You can face
I went
her.
to school at Team B Montessori School. Of course, I have interaction with children every day because we have the Montessori School from ages 2 to 10 plus or 11. Then I also run an NGO, Child Center to catering for the vulnerable, policies, building, orphans and vulnerable children, but in the rural areas. So my space revolves around children, basically.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Patricia. I'm a teacher represents which is allowed.
Just
Okay, from Patricia Grace Academy.
You have children, you're a teacher. All right.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Abokede. So I'm a teacher of about 16 years experience. I'm emerging peace practitioner.
Imagine.
Peace practitioner.
Oh, wow.
It's a public. So I'm a teacher in public.
Welcome, Mr. Henry.
Alright, good morning. My name is Nelson and I'm the school administrator of Grace Kids School. And I'm here to represent my practice.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rita. I'm a caregiver. I care for the elderly. I volunteer for Abokede initiative. I volunteer. I'm a Red Cross member too, and I also take care of children during my off days. So I volunteer in a school, Life Foundation, to teach too, and I'm a mother of 3.
You're welcome. All right, so welcome everybody. I want to especially welcome you again to our maiden edition of iParent Connect. Zip and share. So we are supposed to be zipping while we are it's going to something inside that. So we made something very simple for you. LD drink. Okay, so now let's start. Like I said, the discussion program. I want us to please participate as much as possible. I think you will assist me by tapping the laptop. The next so we've done that. Next one. Okay. So now the icebreaker. So when you think about your childhood, what is the one word that comes to you? Okay, bring water, maybe water. So when you remember your childhood, let's play a flashback. What is that one word that comes to you? Sorry?
For me, interesting.
Interesting. That's a fun child. Okay, let's.
It wasn't interesting.
Not interesting. Okay. You had a turbulent childhood. Alright. Gabriel?
Fun.
Thank you. Fun. Wow. Okay. So that is it from
Okay. It was mixed because my parents celebrated right way back when I was 3 years old. So you can imagine my mother taking care of us.
So that's the single mother with the experience.
Yes. But later, we got connected with that again, and after some years, you can imagine how it can be rough, ups and downs.
Alright, so we can see that childhood is an important experience for everybody. Some have it interesting, some you may start interesting. As time goes on, when parents begin to misunderstand themselves, some may turn a little bit struggle, maybe financially. As parents are getting themselves, it start turning fun. So that is why we also need to know that. So as caregivers, the childhood of children around us is also very important. Because if you think about yourself, whatever you are doing now, your experience, your childhood experience affects what of the things we are doing presently. If you want to remember anything, as in, if you are doing a flashback, you see that most of the flashback we always have is our childhood, more than when we are already adults. So childhood is a very important thing. So I have a question here that says that when you say a child is vulnerable, what makes a child vulnerable? Is it the age of the child, the circumstances, or the awareness of the parents? Because when we talk about vulnerable children now, we already have a mindset that this level of this kind of children are vulnerable. What makes a child vulnerable? Is it the age of the child? Is it the experience of that child, or the circumstances surrounding that child, or the circumstances surrounding the parents, or the level of awareness of the parents? And I want us to, whatever your response is, I want you to add maybe reasons. What gave you that opinion that this particular child is vulnerable?
Alright, first of all, the age of the child is one factor in this concept because there are developmental milestones in the life of every child. There are some things that you expect that at this age, this child should be doing or should not be doing. There are some things that will come naturally with growth, and there are some that the child will need to be exposed to for the person to learn. For example, a child that is still talking about vulnerability, the access to information. If that child is talking about exposure, if that parent was not available for that child to be trained in certain areas, maybe hygiene, maybe getting to know your body, getting to have information about certain things, you can confidently see that child vulnerable because whether it is right or wrong, the child is very unaware. You said something from the beginning. You talked about how the family is very important because it forms the basis of whether you like it or not. It forms the basis for your life. People react differently to things because of how they were brought up, whether positively or negatively. So when you see a child and you say, okay, this child, when the child is vulnerable, the child can be vulnerable at even 12 years, and another 12-year child is still not vulnerable because that child has been armed with information. Do you understand?
So it's not necessarily the age.
It's not necessarily the age. I said the age also is a factor. Do you understand? The access to information,
That's
circumstances, experiences. A child that knows that this is a new area to my body, basically that this is that. That child cannot be vulnerable to those kind of experiences. But the child that doesn't is really giving. Do you understand? The age might be the same. So age has parts to play, and and also access to information. The children in villages may be more vulnerable to certain things, maybe even disease, because of the environment where they are staying. And also, the ones in town may also be vulnerable to some things that the ones in the village are not vulnerable to. So, location, time, location, age, and experiences really matters.
So circumstances can make a child vulnerable. Then the age is a standard. Okay, so let's hear other people's opinion. What makes you think a child is vulnerable? Because we need to understand this vulnerability thing. We always assume some children are vulnerable, some are not vulnerable. So that is the mindset I'm coming with. But if you don't understand what makes a child vulnerable, you just assume these ones are okay, these ones. So
like I said, we deal with vulnerable children. So the fact that we call them vulnerable is the circumstances around them. You know, they are in a not in the village. So we have some factors that we just term them as vulnerable. You know, economical factors makes them, some of them vulnerable. Psychosocial factors around them, a lot of them are, you know, raised. Most of their parents, one orphaned, you know, they have probably lost one of their parents, and some of them also live with very vulnerable grandmas. Like, let me give you an example of a very vulnerable situation of a child. You know, the child was brought from city, I think Lagos precisely, and brought into the village. The mother was raped in the city. And well, she was vulnerable when she was raped because she had some mental disorders. So she was raped, and she, I think at some point she lost one of her sides. So she couldn't fend for the child, and that child was brought to the village. You can see how, and brought the mother, the grandma taking care of the child, could barely afford anything to take care of the child. You know, so it was, you know, that's so economically vulnerable. You know, no support system at all. So that's people who would term as vulnerable for us. You know, as I mentioned, situation around them, you know, motherly, parental care, not there, you know, just a lot of factors. And most of the time, a lot of them are economically not, you know, a child who wants to go to school and can't even afford to take a meal to school. You know, so at the end of the day, child is getting to steal, you know, doing some. So those are the development. So I'm speaking from the economic
circumstances can make a child even more vulnerable.
Yes.
So you have more opinion. What about children who are from a very comfortable environment? Their parents are educated, maybe even financially, psychologically they are okay, they are financially buoyant. Do they also enter into that vulnerability level?
Oh, sure. You mentioned something about exposure.
Yeah, exposure. There's even high risk because there's a lot of abuse with those kind of people because some people want to exploit for exploitation. So it might be because these people are exposed. Some families just neglect because they don't want to watch. We leave them to house help, leave them to drivers, leave them to teachers, private teachers. We leave them to, so they are even at high risk of abuse and exploitation. So nobody's left out. It's what you attend to that you can say, okay, this is good, but what you just leave by chance. There's always high risk of children being at risk.
And also, sorry, can I also say something that it is not intentionally that the parents make their kids more vulnerable. Because what you don't know can be, what you don't have can be. For instance, a traumatic parent, like we were discussing yesterday, about a child, a single parent, a mother. She has the boy is like less than 2 plus, and the way she treats the boy, if you
think that she is not enough. As in, the boy is already traumatized, and she doesn't know it. And in our discussion, like we're saying that she's also traumatized, and she's passing on her frustration on that child. She has the means to take care of the child, but I don't know whether she has been emotionally wounded, and she's transferring that aggression. And because she's unaware, she's not even ready to seek for help, and she's putting the blame of the trauma of the child on the school. The child that cannot tell you where he wants to piece himself, he will just hold on to his private part. That's how they do in school, that okay, this is where he needs to be himself. So she is not seeing it. Someone said she had beaten that child and kicked him, and someone asked, do you want to kill him? Let him die. The 2-year-old. So tell me when that child. So for if parents to parents, you were asking about our childhood a while ago. A parent that has been traumatized and has not seek for help would definitely raise a traumatized child. So all of these circumstances come to play. It's not just a one-off thing. It's not the age comes to play, circumstances come to play. Parents, so not just the children. Parents, is now that awareness is being created that you've suffered in your childhood. Seek help. Make sure that you are healing so that you don't bleed on these children. You don't bleed on your spouse. So if you yourself don't seek help, tell me how you're going to raise a wholesome child. It will be impossible.
So that in what we have said so far, I want to really appreciate us for opening up that much. And the age of the child makes the child vulnerable because it's a minor generally. The circumstance the child finds themselves, either psychosocial or awareness of the parents or even of that child, the amount of knowledge the child gathered. And then even the cycle of trauma, when a parent has been traumatized and has not healed, automatically the parents transfer abuse or traumatize their children. So all of this, so every child is actually vulnerable, except for children whose parents are well informed and they're also educating them as well. They provide a safe space for them. So for example, that a child is coming from a wealthy home does not mean the child is safe.
Okay. Yes, a child coming from a wealthy home does not mean the child is safe or the child is all protected. There is a case of a woman that shared because she's a grandma now. So she said during her childhood experience that her parents usually love them all. So the parents said that one of their family member got pregnant and she doesn't want any of her children to disgrace her, to disgrace the family. So that's the point of the parents. So what they do is when they are going out, she happened to be the only girl. So they will lock all of them inside, or if she's not taking, if they're not taking her with them, they will lock her inside and tell her to stay at home until they come back. So she said when she became an adolescent, she was like, for how long will you be locking her inside? When she's not the cartoon character, one of the cartoon characters, according to her. And she said, no, this will not continue like this. So she decided to have a boyfriend that comes to whenever the parents are not around, the boyfriend comes to the house. And she planned it. So later she became afraid that maybe they may see them inside, and then when they go out, she will leave the house through the window. So that she said she did that for a long time until she finally became pregnant. Wow. And then when she became pregnant, her parents were like, how did it happen? With all the sheltering and caging, how did it happen? She said because their kids caging her inside that she can't be caged. So eventually she had to stay with her grandparents till she gave birth and all that. But in a nutshell, she was trying to let us know that caging children, not giving them freedom, can also make them to be vulnerable. You have to give your children freedom according to their age. So it's not just
That still has to do with knowledge.
Yes.
So the parents were traumatized, but they did not seek help. They didn't heal, and so they took it upon the children out of fear. And so there's a need of why this program is very important. Information.
There's another thing, sorry, I remember some very recently I met someone. So the point I'm trying to make is mental stability can also make a child very vulnerable. So a child who has let's say autism, who has schizophrenia, who has OCD, who has different stages of mental illness. I met a girl, she's a adolescent for English Academy. She's 21. And speaking to her, I know that she's very vulnerable. You know, she had experiences with men. You know, seeing her alone, you know that anybody can take advantage of her. You know, she was as vulnerable as telling me that she shared the contact of her ex-boyfriend with the new person. Like, so I said, okay, so they started exchanging chats, started exchanging content. Do you understand my point?
Yeah.
So she shared a guy that she had aborted for. You know, she just feels so mental stability gave her away. You know, that makes her very vulnerable. So I don't want us to I don't want us to be that the fact that people who are a little bit of you know, who have mental challenges can also be, you know, they call them mild, medium, moderate, you know, some well severe. Some who have very mild one, they move around us, but you will not know how vulnerable they are until you know interact with them. So that's just the point.
So the vulnerability didn't allow her to not share and
And you feel that she's when you see her in a master class, you're like, oh, really? She sits down like, you know, of course, but you know, at level of her IQ is, you know, a little bit low. You know, that's why you can make her share a contact of a former boyfriend because you know they were trying to be open. Oh, well, tell me about your past. And she's like, okay, yeah, I wanted for you, and so this was happened. This all happened. Okay, let me have his number. And godly, she gave the number. And so right, she's not feeling that that other new boy is
more caring.
More caring, no. And now, so she's feeling, no, that one's already acting up. Of course, you have to. Somebody who has your downloads of what they are saying of past about it for you know. So she's also working towards, oh, let's have sex because when they see, so.
because I wouldn't good morning, good afternoon.
So let's meet you.
Yeah, I think it's so before I start, my name is Abokede, and I would like to say that I'm happy to be here. I've been learning the shop order in Arama. So
What do you do?
I work as a musician. So and I'm also an upcoming advocate for you.
Not upcoming,
I'm putting that way. So I host a program for women. We call it Talking Moms. So we share. And I have an initiative for women as well. We call it Moms Allowed Initiative. So it's to help women on burden, you know, everything that would lessen the burden of women. That's basically what we do. I'm a health communicator too. Basically, in that's just who I am. I'm a parent too. So actually, I came to learn for my children. So I came to learn as a parent, not really as an advocate for women now. But of course, I'm sure that the insights I would give would also help in the various things that I do. So from the last story that my sister here shared, I believe that even the relationships, maybe there could be, she could have voted to get to a stage in that relationship before sharing. But it's usually advised that you don't keep the things that you're supposed to share, even in relationship, in a romantic relationship. You don't keep it secret. For instance, it's better that in a relationship that you had trusted that, okay, this is really a relationship that could lead us somewhere. It's not ideal to keep the part that she actually aborted. You understand? So that's where
Maybe she thought that was a healthier relationship.
So I wouldn't know the stage she has gotten to with the guy before she revealed that age. I don't subscribe to that she should keep those things secret. It's not really, especially the relationship to lead to marriage. She's supposed to share.
And probably there's a time she should share it.
Okay, so do you feel that sharing the contact of the,
That's where she
But why should the man ask for the contact?
Because obviously we are saying that she's not mature. And then the question for me is,
I'm a background check.
who brought her up? How did she get to that point of having aborted for someone? She think obviously she hasn't healed because aborted. You will have to deal with people who have aborted. It's not a walk in the park for them. People look at them. Some people look at them and see them as, I don't know whether all of us are as women. But sometimes I've seen a situation where parents had to abort for their children. I know of one, they had to abort for her because 2 weeks to the wedding, the man said he was not that interested because of the tribal issues. And that girl never healed. She got to a point where she was almost going to commit suicide, right under her parents' roof. That's where he said that information, which information you have access to. She was already googling how to commit suicide. The parents were next door, they didn't know. So how did she get to the point of aborting? How did she get to the point of getting into another relationship where she now has to? She's crying for help. And unfortunately, she went and met someone who also saw that she was gullible and took advantage of it and was ready to also sleep with her. Not help her. Parenting is a whole lot of work. I think will help us to seek information and to get it right. Seek we have our society have a problem of seeking information. We are too into we don't want to let them know there's nothing anybody has not heard before. There's nothing. There's no story we have not heard. But when it is big, no, how would I want somebody to know that? Well, that's how we get help. That's how we get healed. So sorry, that's all right.
So let me just add to a bit to what she said, though from another perspective. You know, the Nigerian culture, when you use culture, for instance, the one that is causes it.
Yeah.
It's still innocent, yes.
And at times you think you are safe by being vulnerable, but it pushes people away from you. You understand? Yes. You just draw necessarily attention. Even in marriage, it depends on the maturity of the person you are married to. How enlightened. Do you understand? If you know that your husband or whoever it is somebody who, when you make a mistake, that mistake is going to stay in that marriage for life. And you start telling him that when I was in secondary school, I was you are heading, that marriage is heading for your progress. But you're already inside the marriage. So what do? For me, I believe it's fast. And what is ahead is greater than what is behind. So it is not every time you just feel like, okay, he's married now, let me just say everything.
Exactly.
Let me just say everything. I'm married, I have 2 kids, and I tell my wife, she has all the passwords of my phone. It's that thing that I'm looking for. Yeah? The phone is, you have access for everything. And if you go into looking for things that don't exist, one day maybe you will just find one. Do you understand? But I'm trying to say that information, vulnerability doesn't mean you should, once the person shows himself comfort, you are just comfortable with the person, then you just begin to steal. Do you understand?
There's this Yoruba magic that they say it's not all the clothes. And you spread out. But some particular clothes you never spread out. I'm sure you know that. I know Christianity will say, oh, you open, say everything that happened. I was one, it was called a victim of rape. There was a time my dad wanted to sleep with me. There's some information like, you know, if you find it, what was that? What was that? I mean, for people that don't
You
know.
can be vulnerable to Christian leaders and make yourself even the
So there's some things
victim.
I
They might even take advantage of you. Yeah, he's a pastor, so let me just tell him,
Tell me everything that
tell
happened
him
to me.
everything. Then they take advantage of you. So
This girl that I said was going to commit suicide. Parents found her a coach, and the man was also going to sleep with her. Yes, he was almost. She said she couldn't be able to tell her parents because it was through the therapy session that she had with him that she started smiling at home. So her parents so much respected this man that when the man started telling her that he wanted to sleep with her, she said, no issue. She couldn't tell her parents, even though she didn't do it, but she couldn't find out how to tell them that this person that people are worshiping. And he's also a pastor, just like you just said. The man is a pastor.
So there are many of those instances. I have one very close to my house. This girl, she's in secondary school. We only got a prized possession, priceless possession for the parents. And there was the guy they were accommodating her. And once the parents go out for work, then if she doesn't have lecture, she's at home. This guy has tried a lot of ways to force to do a lot of things to sleep with her. But she couldn't see it because the parents would not even believe her. So she was just holding it until she opened up and told me. When she told me, I said, see, this is not something that, this is not about whether they will believe you or not. Is that you will see it. Then the next thing was, if I see it and you find out that it's true, the boy's future, because the boy was an orphan and he didn't have any. Do you understand? Do you understand? So what do I now do?
Let him know this.
Do you understand? And the day she told me, 2 days later, she was at home. The parents, because once the parents are preparing to go out, she too, even if she doesn't have anywhere to go, she's preparing to go out. Do you understand? So you just need to be, whether be vulnerable when it comes to you opening up so that you secure yourself. You just, regardless, whatever the damage is, just say it. Just say it so that you save yourself from whatever it is. Because there are some times, if you don't say it, it might turn the other way around. Yes, you understand? It might be like it's even you that is forcing it. It might be the other way around. So it's better you see something.
I picked something from what he said, and what I would say is, majority of us need some level of healing. Actually, and that's why I like what Abokede is doing, healing the inner child. That even for us as adults, as parents, there are so many things we need to heal from that we don't do until when some things happen, they begin to still. So that means I'm not being as perfect as I felt I was. Now, that lady being a woman, or that person being a youth who will later become a woman, it's typical of the female to have this compassionate heart. That's why even despite our being in danger, she still has that heart to say, so what becomes of him in the future? So such a person needs to begin to learn how to set boundaries, to know, okay, this is how far I can go when I think I want to help someone. So if the situation would later lead to putting me in danger, there's some level of pity that you shouldn't then continue to feel for that person anymore. It happens a lot even in marriages. Now, the other time I wanted to draw from what you said. You were talking about a woman who would kick a little boy and where would hold his genitals when he was speaking. You were saying something like, maybe because she's been traumatized, don't beat on your children, don't beat on your spouse. Who tells you that the woman isn't even being traumatized by it? Because as some things we don't know. Yes, we will feel everything is fine. The issue might not have been, okay, maybe child trauma is there as well. But maybe there are some things the man is doing to her as well. You know, it's even in marriage, it gets to some level that you start to become aware that you are being abused.
Yeah.
It's not abuse, not always physical. So it may even be that it's the husband that is triggering whatever behavior. Maybe she's just transferring aggression on the child. So I wouldn't want us to feel like maybe any parents will use so much of the child traumatized as a child. It's most of the time that's really the case. Any trauma that would manifest in adulthood, parts of it will be child trauma. But in marriage, a lot is happening. The woman, I really want to protect the woman. The man, I really want to protect the woman. So it's, I would like, if you still have sessions with the woman, maybe you should still find out how the marriage really is. She's not married, okay, she's a single mom. Oh, then she's frustrated. It's not that she's not even child trauma.
She's not ready for the child.
No, it's not that she's not ready.
Because
Everything surrounding being a
people
single
are not that
mom.
usually like she's regretting she has that child. They have friendship.
And the child is not allowing her to do what she wants to
What she
do.
wants to do.
You know, if you are not ready for having a child is not what should happen by accident. So if you're not ready for a child and you have a child, it's just another trauma. With the emotional, even financially, even spiritual, because you need to be ready to have a child. It's not something that should just happen. So when it happens suddenly, it's only for ladies. Of course, most times ladies that suffers it. It's like who are you to just enter into my life and stop everything, all that, everything I'm planning for, I have a future, this child just come, I didn't plan to have this child. Some people, you know, vent their anger on that child, it came at the wrong time. And that's also what we're talking about, childhood trauma. So now, because of your own mistake or unreadiness, you are now inflicting pain on that child. Innocent child. Even and the thing about children is that even if it's actually a mistake, that child is not a mistake. The act may be a mistake, but that child being here is not a mistake. There's a purpose for that child to be here. So we as parents, caregivers, whether you're in marriage or whatever, there's a need for knowledge. That whatever we are doing, the actions we are taking, the steps we are taking, of course, will lead to a little law of motion. For every action, there's a reaction. Everything we do always have a repercussion. So that is why we should make right decisions, even at every time. Even sometimes, no matter how much right decision you are making, there are sometimes you still make mistakes. But when mistakes comes, they own up. Be responsible for that thing that has happened. Then seek help. Because that child now is growing. The trauma is there and it's continuous. It may continue for as long as we don't know. She may even try to kill that child. The child may still survive and know that somebody attempted killing me. And so the need for healing at every level is important. Now, you also mentioned the people who have been traumatized in marriage. Most marital trauma is also from childhood trauma. Some men saw their parents, saw their dad turning their mom to punching bag. They promised themselves they will not do it when they get married. But because it's already inside of them, unconsciously they start releasing that I want to use that anger on their wives. So maybe they like I know somebody close to me that always says that I know why mom and dad are always fighting. Mom even have a lot of things. No man will take this from the woman. It's talking about his mom. They were quarreling when they had issues before the father was late. But now that the father is gone and mom is now doing some things, that's no wonder dad is always quarreling mom. So if he sees any sign of what the mom is doing that he doesn't like on the wife, say, hey, you see, automatically he will take up the father's attitude because this is not trying to protect his own territory. So it happens that as parents, couples, we should understand that we have people who are looking up to us. Whatever we are doing, anything, their children are like sponge. They are absorbing, they won't react at that time. But there will be a time those reactions will begin to show. And you'll be like, who taught this child how to do this thing? They've absorbed this already, they've soaked it up. And this comes back. So this is why. So when we are talking, and now the next question is that what does the term inner child mean personally to you? Inner child. We are all adults now, right? So do we say healing the inner child? We are adults, but we say how do we heal as the inner child? So what does the inner child mean to you?
That's the real meaning of needed. So the onset, the inner child to me is an inner child is that child that wasn't aware of anything, came into a particular family, or started was doing with whatever understanding my parents had. My own definition of it, the image of me carry with me, the image of my childhood, so that I carry with me as I'm growing up. Because I still do a favor for the things I can remember in my childhood. I had a good childhood experience, so I still carry it. I had the ugly ones. So the ones I can still remember is the inner child. So if anybody that has a bad childhood will be carrying it and repeating that pattern. And whoever has a good one will also carry it, repeat it to reflect inside themselves.
Okay, go ahead. You have not said anything.
So, to me, the inner child means the kind of training, the kind of environment, the kind of upbringing that informs your behavior at when you are now an adult. So that is what the inner child means to me. So, and these are the kind of things that determine how mature you are when you grow up. So,
Not have your voice. What does inner child mean to you? Okay. To me, inner child means what forms you, the real you, the real me. Because when we are children, we have a lot of dreams. Oh yeah, now. So this is yourself now. She's not just Rosemary, you introduce yourself now. She's a Oyo State Coordinator Child Protection Network. You're welcome, man.
So that's that naturally is the way that need to be improved or needs to let go. That thing that really formed one as a person, either through experiences from when growing up that have come to stay, but have come to be you. And you're not looking up. Though there are some that are good, that just need to improve on, and there are some that you need to let go so that there will be a better you as a person in life.
So it's still the same. The real, most of the time, what forms when we're children, the real us is that childhood we were. When your mind was pure, no, you are not afraid of anything. You are not afraid of make mistakes. You just have dreams. I want to be this, I want to be that. You have big dreams. But adults, when we become adults, that's when we start having, are you sure you can do this? People don't achieve this. You begin to have people cautioning you, bringing reality to you.
Even before you become an adult.
Even
as a child.
Yes. So she starts telling you, are you sure you can do this? Giving you reasons why some things will not work. So the real person is that child. The real person is that child. And that is why as child caregivers, we all have to understand that we are forming people. we are stakeholders in the life of children, and we should give the best, give them room to explore themselves. So that's a good one. I like your contribution so far. So our next question is that, so for those that are just joining us, you're welcome. Welcome to iParent Connect, Zip and Share. So you have drinks in your front. You're supposed to be zipping and sharing. So make something simple, healthy drink. All right. So now, this program is our flagship program for iParent Connect, Zip and Share. It's going to grow to a level where we have live sessions, where we have families come together. In fact, we have children who are run away from home. We want to heal, we want families to heal. We want husbands and wives to heal and come together. That is where we are going. We want to be able to have homes to unite. There are some homes that they can't even raise their children, and their children are not far from them. But because of the trauma that they have experienced, everybody is already scattered. We want a level where we can bring people together and allow them to heal. And say, my son, forgive me. I didn't know when I did this. My wife, I didn't know when this happened. It's happened out of ignorance. But even if you don't come together, forgive each other and live your life. And if you can still come together and try. So that is what iParent Connect is about.
I want to find out what maybe Abokede initiative or this forum is the disposition towards the process of healing. Because you said maybe we aim to make this forum go to the point that we begin to be families. Now, the other time we were talking about that lady, I'm very interested in that lady. I wanted to ask that what have you done? The issue is not really about the child now. Thank God the child is still very little. There's still enough room to help the child heal. But the woman needs to heal or have that level of awareness where she will see that what she's doing is wrong. So I wanted to find out, how have you been able to help her? What have you said to her? Okay, you know her situation, you know why she will be transferring aggression to the child. Have you thought of talking her into seeing that child as a person in disguise, seeing herself as the one that should take responsibility for helping that child? Because if she hadn't done what to make her have that child, so have you in any way helped her to be aware? Because healing starts with awareness, actually. Even the parents that are saying they will collect parents with their children. If they don't, there are some parents that still do not know, or maybe it's ego that's making them to feel, I didn't do anything wrong. I know of the grandpa. It's not a grandpa. The children, he maltreated the wife. The woman had 6 children for him, and it was traumatic. They are growing up with traumatic. So at some point, they had to, those children just started doing, maybe a child does something, a boy in secondary school say, because he did that, maybe you ran away from school today, no school for you again. They will cry in bed, no, you're not going to school again, and that's it. You understand? So recently, I heard that when the last set were getting married, last 2 years were getting married, I guess because those guys are Christians, they are aware that, okay, you should forgive your father and everything. They insisted that he must be at their wedding. So he was there. Now, when the wife was there as well, they were not living together. He was the only one that told the wife to pack out. The woman begged from night till morning, please don't let me go. Not that she was enjoying the marriage, but these are believe that because of my children, we want to get me. So she begged the man is saying, I can't go to school. So the woman asked me, she went back to her parents' place. So the man had been all his life. Maybe the man should be close to 80 years old. Or even now, maybe such men, nobody can really speak again. Maybe they married for a short while and the man will break it. So I never heard anything about him being married, but there's no woman that is married to at the moment. Now, the last time I was asking the mama, okay, so when you met at our wedding, what did you say? He said that he just greeted me, and when I was about to leave, the mama was asking that, so are you also leaving? I want to write you to last thing. So that I'll continue my year from where I started. So I've been thinking, okay, so why can't this man, because these legs are mature now, I think maybe the first one should be in the 50s, then the youngest should be close to 40 of the children. So why can't this man use our opportunity to just reconcile with them? So I want to believe that even as it is now, maybe he hasn't really come, maybe something has been telling him that he have not done well, or easy. I don't know. So I'm thinking, okay, so it means that man is still not aware that he did not do well. So how can we help such people? Because I feel there should even be a level of readiness before someone can be helped to heal. But of course, I feel
I want to say something. The man is aware. He knows what he's doing. And pride is allow him to act in this. Because I've seen a case like that. I think so I've had a case like that. One of the clients that I took care of, the family not scattered, but not united. So when I discovered this, I told the man, I said, you are the one that will bring unity into this home. You hurt their mother by marrying another wife and giving the marriage for a long time. The wife he married, the second wife he married, drove him out. Wow. And then the man fell sick. When the man was sick, that was when that took you back and is taking care of. So the children, because I'm excited about what Abokede is bringing up, that there will be a session where families will come together to heal. So immediately you said so, I was like, this is a very good initiative. Because a lot of families are going through trauma caused by parents. So now, this man, I told him, I said, you are the one that will fix this thing. First of all, apologize to your wife. Tell your wife, I'm sorry.
So, yeah, not apologize to the man, the woman to be back.
He has not. So when the children comes to the home, everybody is on their own. There's nothing like children coming to play with daddy, talking to daddy. If mommy is around, there's nothing like gist, daddy and mommy gist, or children and mommy gist. Everybody just goes to their room on their own. There's nothing like children to children gisting or sitting together. Everybody is just on their own, in their own world. So I told her that this is what you will do. So when the wife came around, instead of me to apologize, it was now another quarrel. It was another quarrel that at midnight, I wasn't around. At midnight, it was the neighbor that came in at 2 a.m. to settle the fight. So he knows, it's not that this man is not aware. He is just
But please, when you spoke with him, what was his situation?
He told me that he's grateful, he has realized we apologize. But the next session, the next episode, I heard that he's fighting his wife.
So that's also bring a part. We also need to start looking into. You know that there are so many organizations that are focusing on women. That we are doing women empowerment, women, but really, not much of anyone is talking about the men. Men also need to begin to mentor themselves. There are men that are successful in marriage, successful in business. Men focus more on business than marriage. But what ends their life is marriage. By the time you are young, you are running after money, doing business, you are cutting all the shops, you have money, you are traveling up and down. You have energy. But by the time you are now old, people that will take care of you is the ones that you have neglected. So there's a need for organizations or people standing up to be to talk to the men folks. And also it starts with the women. You see, we women, we focus so much on the girl. We empower the girl, train the girl, caution the girl. We neglect the boys. So there's a need for us mothers to begin to also pay attention to the boy children. The boy child has been neglected for too long. It's high time we begin to also mentor the boys. So we are crying out for those who have been successful, men that are successful in marriage. Start mentoring other men. We see women that are successful in marriage talking about marriage and encouraging women how to build a happy home. But what if a woman wants to build a happy home and the man that she's trying to build a happy home with never had knowledge of happy home? He is not even ready to hear happy, to talk of home. So we need people that will begin to champion causes for men. Not just be successful in business, also be successful in marriage. Because most of the time, when the men are doing that ego thing, they are young and they are vibrant, they are running up and down, they will do all sorts of things to the women. Now, they will marry multiple wives. By the time the problem starts, the first one that they negated will be the one that will not carry the brunt. And at that time, the children of that first one are not ready to forgive them. So you see a lot of old men that are bachelors. Otherwise, some women will take solace on Ugo. They will not start traveling. They will go to London 6 months. After London, go to Canada. Another 6 months. By the time they only spend 2 days with their old husband. It's not because she doesn't want to stay with the man, but because she feels this is the time for me to now enjoy my life. I can't come and suffer with a man that never suffered with me.
And of course, emotionally, she's there.
Yes, so it's important for us as knowing that as couples we are raising children, children are taking over from us, we are recycling ourselves. So we should give the healthier generation, we should raise healthier generations. So if you are traumatized, seek for help. We have professionals who are trained to help you through therapy, to help you to heal. Heal is good that you heal your inner child. Forgive. And it starts with awareness, then forgiveness. You can't raise healthy children when you are still quarreling with your father, or you never forgive your mother. They will see the pain and the hurt in you. They will take it in, and they are waiting for you to, when you become old. And that is how the cycle continues. And that is why our program, the program we are running now, is breaking the cycle of child abuse. Because we need to break that cycle. It's very important. So we need to now hasten up because our time is fast spent now. No, we didn't start on time. So a quick one, this just one word, we won't drag this. What way do you think our childhood experience affects how we raise our children or relate to our children? Do you think your childhood experience affects the way you relate with your children? Do you think so? Or how? Now, in what ways do you think our childhood experience affects how we raise or relate with our children, with children today? With not necessarily our children, with children around us?
Like for me, I think this is the experiences might be there, but you might choose what you want to do. First thing is when you're getting into marriage, and you know the person you're getting married to, you need to come to terms. This is not an extension of my father's house. This is also not an extension of your father's house. So my father said, "My sake, cannot work in this marriage." Do you understand? The background, of course, you don't need to throw everything in, but you can choose what works. If you work there, of course, if your parents, there are some families that say, "I've never, since we were growing up, I've never heard my mom disobey my dad, I've never heard any." Those are things you should be.
Not the negative ones.
Not the negative ones. Things like the role of the wife and the husband should be complementary roles. And if the husband is not there, the wife should be able to do things like the husband is doing. So that even if the husband is not around, the gap is not as big as it should be. So the background should teach you, not limit you. You understand? It should teach you. There are things that you pick, there are things that you should drop. But if you allow them, that experiential knowledge comes into your marriage and you begin to walk like there are some men that are very mean. Say, my father, and I never saw my father wash my mother's clothes. So it's wrong. Tradition is wrong. The man cannot sit in the kitchen. You know all those kind of businesses. Then the part where you talk about the boy child, no matter how good you train your girl child, if you don't train the boy child, you are going to give that girl child a useless boy. And it will still not work. Do you understand? So it is not even about the gender. Like in my own house, I'm using my house for example, there's nothing that the girl, I have a boy and a girl, there's nothing that the girl should do that the boy will not do. Do you understand? Like, go and wash the dishes. He knows that it's not the small one or the girl that should do it. So they are fundamentally we are saying that the background is there. We are not disputing that. But you who is reasonable, you sit down by books, you have read, you are educated, you have God, you know God, you're a godly man or a godly woman. You should know what the things that are obtainable and the things like that.
All right.
Sorry,
Why introduce yourself, sir?
one professor was told me, you know, this was the
Introduction, we want to
Sorry.
know.
My name is Indai. Sorry, don't mind me because after that, so Indai, I'm a teacher, also a student.
This school.
Pastor Africans. So, so the professor told me that when he was growing up, that he signed his own mind how he's going to do it by saying that he loves seeing people having 5 wives. You know, what am I trying to say that? Environmental factor. So where you are coming from, sometimes it can affect you negatively or positively. So in that sense, it's signing that yes, by the time I finish from school, I'm going to have my own car, I will have wife here, have another one here.
Yeah, the bank.
Yes. He said from there, that was how he said he signed there. It's like there. But later, you know, now he's a counselor now, he's a professor now, and he said he decided to change the original. Yeah. This time around, I think I will go for a single, not having a seats or whatever. What am I trying to bring out is that sometimes, you know, when you are growing up, some things that you see can affect or can hold your own life. Like, okay, this is where I'm going to live my life. Then, yeah, the real you comes out. Oh, now with me, somebody like me, I'm not going to do something like this because in you, there's some things in you that the real you that I'm not meant for this. But because of what you are seeing around you, because of what people are doing that they are enjoying it, I think is the best, then you might not, I want to venture into it, that is the best way of life. Another one is, you know, you made mention of men the other time, maltreating or whatever, Patricia. What about in a situation whereby, I've seen a situation whereby it was the woman that was maltreating the mother. And the daughter too, you know, the children, especially the daughter too, developed that habit. You know, it's not easy, like she started beating her husband too. Because there are some things that the mother did not take them with their father. So she believed that this is the way of life too. So later with talk and several talk, but she's still doing it.
But she's saying it.
Yes. So also,
There's no way that it will not affect the children too.
somehow. She said something the other time that there are some people because of the ego, maybe they don't want to change it. There are some people that they don't even know that what they are doing is wrong. You permit me to say this. Yoruba will say, "Tiojuba shaking." When you don't bring it out and show it to the person, possibly the person might not understand. So what I'm doing is wrong. But when the moment you see people around the person, we are, in the society whereby you'll be doing the wrong thing, I'll be telling you that, thumbs up. So people need to, we should let them know that this thing is wrong, not praising them. And that's how we can correct the society, and that's how we can correct the nation. And that's one of the problems. There's a lot of child traumatized, abuse, whatever, that is still affecting the country of this world. You know, when I have a child now that I said, okay, my decision is that I'm not going to treat anybody, let me focus on my children. My daughter, I'm not going to be the one that marry my daughter. My daughter will also choose from the society. So it's only when we are correcting those good goals that we can have a better future. So that's it.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you everybody for your contribution. So Now we have a few more questions to address. So this one says, what kind of words or behaviors from adults hurt you most as a child? Looking back into your childhood, what are those things that adults said that really hurt you as a child?
In your childhood, it was really kitchen.
A girl just should just be in the kitchen, a kitchen material.
My own was, I always have a lot of questions asked my mom. She tell me, you are too young to be asking me this question. Wait when you grow old. And I never remember those questions again. And I became older, so it was.
So
There's another word that is our grandma, they will say they maybe unconsciously, they will say, really happening. You know, when you go, if I tell you to do something, you go to that, what is something they have said? You know, or this kind of thing that affects a lot. Now, other people say, they didn't say it too. So I was like, so I was trying to consult with that for that, you know, no, and sometimes if you make any mistake and it seems as if there is no way, if there is no God by your side, and that thing will come to pass. So those are the kind of things that, so you don't be saying it, people will die for you. Those they are very
limiting words.
dangerous things that people should be saying.
Mine is, okay, I grew up in the midst of boys. My family is an extended family of 5 boys. And we're only 2 boys. One very senior. So each time they are doing anything, I want it the way they are doing it for the boys. And when I'm not allowed, I'm not happy. Then, as I started mixing up, most of my friends are boys. I want to climb tree, I want to jump, I want to play with anything they are doing, I want to do. And there's this statement from my mom like that. This guy, are you sure you're not going to end up as a prostitute? On a particular day, she said, let's bet it in the sea. We're going to that share. Yes, my mom. So that word, when I remember it, as I was growing, the boy approaches me for anything. I remember that statement, I don't want to be a prostitute. So it kept on haunting me. Anything I'm doing, I remember my mom said, I'm going to be a prostitute. And I don't want to end up as a prostitute. So that word, it's not only haunts me until when I started realizing what the word is all about. And I'm careful not to be using statements, especially of girls, because I have a lot of them around. When I remember my own growing up days, it followed me until when I had my first cycle. I didn't tell her, because I don't know the meaning. I thought that means I'm already a prostitute. So I didn't tell her. I just said, oh, I don't want to. First time, and the second time, she placed a bucket and touch. I didn't know what to do. What are you doing? I didn't know it. So I went to her. When she saw it, she screamed, called me, dragged me to her, and said, you are pregnant. This is what was happening. She said, don't let go to me. If they swear, that is something. And then she said, I'm just summarizing, this thing is starting now. If a boy nears you and your body touches the body of a boy, whenever you are on it, get pregnant. So you my brother in our full house. Then they are this way, I'm this way. So these things are affected me. So the way she talking, I look at her like, well, you must be a prostitute. So when you buy someone, I don't want to become, so I will not become a prostitute. Because by then, I don't really fully understand what would make me a prostitute. There's that statement you keep on until
Where's Mama?
she breaks down.
Did she realize what she said before she died?
She didn't.
Wow.
That's
But
all.
you
You
can't
cannot
So,
make
yes.
it wrong.
Were you friends before she died? Were you friends?
Please, there was a time of separation to you. We are not close. I don't tell her things. My mom, tell her anything. When she's arguing with you, so I don't even tell her anything, so we are not friends.
Sorry, ma. Was she a girl when she started having you? Maybe she was a teenager who had to be.
Romantic experiences. She wanted to go in her own time. There's the boys. They were sent to school. Not the girls. So according to her, she dropped from this kind of fire.
And that day.
Then, when she dropped. And then she was forced to go and marry my dad. And I asked for why. She was very So she herself was never a kind of person.
At the thought of her, I think she was trying to hold back.
That's the best way she
Yes,
could
yes,
explain.
yes.
So that's education is very powerful.
So how were you able to have a change of mind? Who walked up with you?
Grew up with this kind of very service. I feel so inferior to it. You understand? I feel so inferior. If I know anything that is so you did, I believe that means everybody have gone to that account. So there's never anything I feel I can do better than anybody. Or I know how to do. So all I just want to do, don't let me do anything that is before me, let me do it as I do it. And that is still now. I see how that. I have to fight the inferiority complex by mixing up when I'm somewhere, they're talking about hospital, this something I want to join, you know. That's how, till now, I'm still fighting it until date. She can even pinpoint, maybe I'll see some things in my life.
Thank God that you are aware. So
Ah.
that means your children will be better.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry, away from everything you have all said, I remember that my mom was, like I said, I was 3 when my mother and my father separated. And my mom was, she did all she could so that I really, she costed us a lot. I mean, she defined she was unreasonable. So, but, you know, in all of those things, the word I remember from my mom, and she trained us in such a way that those words didn't affect us. She didn't allow those words to affect us, because even in the midst of us. The word that she always says and brings a lot is, don't forget the child of the giver. So I also want to encourage us as parents not to always make sure that train our children in such a way that we have that coping mechanism. Our parents have said a lot of things to us, but the ones that will override, and that's why a lot of parents, a lot of children right now don't have that. They just feel that my mommy called me, so use this statement. This is behavioral that I usually tell my children, or I tell people around you, what if CBT therapy? What if so you fail the exam? So is that the end of the world? So make sure that those words don't sink. Some children, if they tell them that you have a big head, they will just go and sit down and say, my head is big. And that's what we think about. So make sure that we get out of this. We have this, shake it off. No matter how the course is beginning of you shake it up and build them up in that way that you don't swallow over those pasts. So the thing I remember my mommy calls it the but those ones are, I don't know how she did it.
Because you became like normal, like water.
And she would do it, she would praise you, and she would also give it back. She would do it, But so
So I
like,
guess
the
it's
ones
positive
that,
ones that she's doing.
the positive
That's
ones
top.
overruled what
The negative
negative.
ones. But you are a psychologist, right? I want to find out. Now, the story that somebody shared the story that a girl will be locked up so that she will not get pregnant. But she still decided to go through the window and still got pregnant. You know that some other children will be locked up, but the fear of don't get pregnant, they will still not get pregnant. They will stick to, so I want to okay, so let me comply, so that I will not get pregnant. You understand? So why is it that, now, drawing from some, it's somewhat related to what you have said. Drawing from that, okay, the causes, the Oroburuku, still, you were able to shake them off. I don't want to believe that it's because she said, there was something. Of course, those positive ones will stick. But it's not that naturally, some people, there's nothing we say to them that we get to them. And it's not that someone told them that.
Instinct is just.
We are built differently.
By God.
We are different.
Yeah.
There are some children that say any nonsense to them from nothing.
They will do what they want to.
They are wasting like my youngest
get to
one.
some others.
So,
Because of the way, because of our makeup, we
then,
are exactly.
another thing again, apart from temperament, there's a way that your parents or your teacher or anybody who is in charge of you right now can talk you into something. We still need therapy. I'm not sure you do it on community behavioral therapy. Is a therapy that can work for anybody. When you keep talking to that person over and over, okay, who says they're not smart? What do you mean by you're not smart? Have you seen this person that he was even a now young person? You know this kind of book. And some therapy to use for a particular child that it will keep sinking into that. So that's why I tell parents, say affirmative things to your children.
Yeah.
You know, even if you feel that oh, they are indulged, go to the indulged. As you keep saying those kind of things will override or overrule the negative part. So we should always make sure that even if it's more. So I feel that, and it will give that child a coping mechanism, irrespective of what they say. Oh, they are too dull. They are not. And you just say yourself that there's this thing I'm doing for my children right now. I was supposed to be doing so. We have some prophetic declarations. Irrespective of what they have said at home. Of course, a lot of parents, a lot of children come from, traumatized homes. But in the school, when we get to the school, it's a different thing. You are a different person. There's a corner that we speak to you I'm prosperous. I'll bring that better than my person. You say it every time. That child begins to sow those good words are the ones that are sowing. So irrespective of you cannot prosper, it is negative. So I don't know how the foundation can. It's just a way to just make sure the children are fortified.
Let me say something. We cannot totally say that the words she said to you didn't have effect. Maybe you should have been a better person if those words were not there. Because me, I believe that words are spirits and character. Do you understand? And like we talked about background, we said that the way you would react if your child, you have children now, right? If your child misbehaves, is different from the way you would react if you have a mother that if there's an issue, she's supported and she'll call and she'll remind or she'll correct you. Like there's this tendency of flaring. You learned that from someone. You saw it from someone. And that's not even the best approach. So he has an effect. You probably are a better person. You feel like, okay, because she used to sit down 45, you're not. You understand? It is inside there that when you are presented with a situation that you would have been calm, you flare. So it is always very safe. I relocated from many states early this year. I got a job in UK. And my children, they are these ones, I'm not proud to say, but they are these ones that is from the car into the house, to church, to school, and they are practically settled. So I watch what they listen to. Right now, they don't know any training, they don't know any
they know what they need to know. Do you understand? So I have limited down to what they hear. I don't have DSTV in my house. Even cartoons, I download cartoons for them on my flash, my laptop, then I watch it, I screen it, then I give them to watch. Why am I doing that? I am intentional about what they listen to. So when we came to Ibadan, usually when you're driving, you hear people with so sharp on the road and all that. The boy said, why is everybody angry? Do you understand? He was like, why is everybody angry? I said, no, they are not angry. The way they say this language, they need to speak with force, and they are there. I just say, tell him the right thing because you see it. Then this attitude of people are on the road, those red Micra cars, there are some guys that stand in the road, they write something quickly and collect money from them. He says, see, that man is a thief. He says, he's not a thief. Collect money from someone. I said, no. But it's because he has this kind of mind that he has not seen it. He's not exposed to that.
He has not seen it, yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, what I'm
Sorry, how old are the children?
the boy is 6. Okay, is 4.
Because I wanted to ask, how do you intend to teach them street smartness? This society, you can't be this kind of. It should be a blend, a mix. But of course, they are still little.
Yes. They are still very.
So I guess we have to introduce them to
and all that. The real world. So I'm saying that it has an effect because the way you would react or the way somebody else will react. There are times when you go to the hospital because of the training doctors have. You see somebody almost dying. It's the training. Do you understand? You will be running out. It's because they need to be competent to take a decision that will be favorable. Do you understand? So words are very powerful. You don't just use the first time my boy used an effort, it wasn't only that. I didn't that particular one I didn't listen. You understand? He said, what? Where did you listen on your laptop?
Wow.
I referred me back there. So
That is so tricky.
Sorry, sir, are you eating?
It's
Good you are censoring everything, it's very good, but when they begin to read so, they will feel like, I don't play what they when they are passing, when my children are passing, they are walking, and then they start singing some song. My daughter will be singing and then they say, do you know this song? Yeah, I know it now. Where did you learn it from? You sing it in my school, my classmates.
I only want to say that. No, I want to
But the more we want to see,
It's to encourage we are giving them.
we will override those. I work in a radio station. There's only any what is something I don't. But I intentionally decide on the ones who listen to. So you can't get on my phone and see any of those songs. I had played on mine earlier today. I played one old CACI your first thing for me here. You understand? But it's not that. It can't just say if anybody plays that song, all those songs are played on the station now. I won't be able to sing them if I want to sing them. Now sometimes they even come into my head. You sing them in your head, or you just let yourself out.
I want to say
Okay, I have a perspective. For me, I believe it should be a balance. Now, this quote about this song, I understand it from the perspective of Christianity. From the other perspective also, not all of the songs are bad. There are some of the songs that they actually give you a different kind of inspiration. It might not be the Christendom kind of, I'm serious.
I know.
They just they move, yeah, they don't put you, yes, thank you, the lyrics. So the most important thing is now teaching your child to discern, to understand that, oh, this song is talking about this something. So because it's talking about this, it's not good for you. It can pollute your mind, or you might start. So they understand that, okay, this song. Because to me, I grew up in a very, my mom, my dad, I'm Catholic background. They go to mass every morning. But guess what? I listen to rap music before I go to school. As early as GS class. But the only thing that helped me to understand that some of those things are considered because they've already instilled that discipline to know that, oh, this thing, they might not even understand the song, but they tell you, oh, when they are saying something like this, you know this is not good, this is good, this that one is not good. And I was not exposed, that's one thing about being exposure. I was not exposed early to some leadership, what I call it, gatherings, the grooming children on leadership or creativity or arts, and people that were there were well read, they were well informed, and they teach you things like values that you need to hold. So those things help me to know, okay, this song is this song is this. So, but still, it's good for them to also know what those things are about, so that they can now know, okay, this is when it's getting too extreme, you know, oh, that's
I have a question for this. Yes. You're talking about music.
yes,
Yes. Now, let's use Two-Face for instance. If Two-Face is on, if I own an advert company, I want to advertise, let's say, pet control pills. Will I call Two-Face to advertise pet control? Let me tell you something. It's beyond the lyrics. Music is far beyond the lyrics. Because there was a time I do a lot of stuff in concerns issues like music, what you should be here and all that. If there was a time they played a particular music at the mall, and the rate of shoplifting in that mall increased by almost 50%. They said, okay, let's change it and put another music. Have you heard of Yanni? Yanni music is a mix of idol worship and everything. One play, I'm not recommending for you, but one listen to Yanni. One listen is incantations and incantation with music and everything. When you listen to it, two things happen to you. It's like you're thinking of suicide, you're thinking of sexual immorality. You don't think of anything. There's no words to that music, Yanni. It's just jazz. Do you understand? So it is the spirit behind the music.
Yeah.
It's not everybody that says Jesus is good, Jesus is good, the pastor will invite you to this thing. So music is communication spirit. Beyond it. That's why when they are shaking bomb and shaking bomb, ladies are doing like this and doing all those things. My children will say, Master, what are they doing? Do you understand? Because they know, as much as I'm trying to balance it, they know if you talk to them about music, everything I'm telling you, they know it, and they know, don't just shield children from, don't listen to this and don't tell them why. Of course, they will go there,
that is
and look at it. So there's that is the balance I am giving it. I tell them, once they listen to me, they say, Daddy, is it good music? I say, it's not good music. So they leave it. Because I've explained what good music is to them, and they also know what bad music is. Do you understand? So if it's just about the lyrics, then we should be applauding people like they're doing like what's it, Fela and all those kind of.
But it was passing a message.
Because it's a music person, it's listening to music. So
It depends on the kind of message. Do you understand?
Now,
I can see his lifestyle.
we are going against what we are here to.
Let's go back.
So what I want to say from what he said, actually when we were raising our children, we follow the kind of pattern we used to. Now when children are very small, it's very good to censor what they listen to. In our time, we didn't buy satellite TV until our first child was 7 or 10. I think second one was 7. We censored all the cartoons they watched. Let me tell one experience I had. My children watched Barbie, was it Barbie or Anna Montana became this fisherman.
Mermaid.
Another said she wants to be a mermaid.
Yeah.
She was crying that she was going to be a mermaid. I said, from where to where? Mermaid again. She said, no, she wants to be. And then realized that was one particular cartoon they watched. What did I do? I picked all the man-made movie in the house, I broke them into pieces, I threw them away. And I started and said, man-made is not of God. I now have to educate them to flush what is in their mind. What I want us to understand about the mind is that there is no amount of what to say. You cannot understand what has entered inside the mind. The mind is powerful. When we're talking about trauma, child protection, it starts from even what they hear, what they see, all the portal of entry, what they are using their eyes to see, what they are using their ear to hear, what they are using their mouth to say or taste, whatever comes into them forms their image. And that is what we are also saying, that both what mommy said, what mommy did not say, somehow formed us. For example, we were trying to say that it may be probably because mommy was a fighting person. She had a fight, not physical fighting spirit of I will not end bad. You may pick it up. So that's her energy of I must not end, I will not be ashamed. No matter what anybody says, they will not say because I'm the only one training my children. They will not end well. Might have been what formed you more than what she has said. Because we think from everything happening, what they see. Mommy fight. My daughter, when they were small, my husband has a baritone voice. In fact, today I will say, we're not fighting, they're not fighting you. He will talk you today, I say that he's fighting you. That's his own voice. I'm still trying to understand that voice. When my daughter was still small, when he said, no, my daughter would just start crying. I would say, no, we're not fighting. As if she was a baby or infant, though. I would not be telling her, we're not fighting, we're not fighting. I have to now be telling her, we're just talking, we're not fighting. She hated violence, even as a baby.
No baby likes it.
Imagine if that was the same, she kept saying violence. Now it's not violence, not just ordinary word. As in she said basketballs. Over time, she will absorb it and think it's normal. My nephew, I had a new nephew recently. When he was given birth to, he happened to stay in a house where there were lots of people there. Everybody, all my nephews and nieces came for holiday during that time he was giving birth to. So he was hearing voices. Sometimes because they were in a holiday, all of them were there, they would be watching violence in there. Say, please, this boy, he doesn't get used to voices. Eliminate violence in whatever is entering his mind. Because if he's learning in his movie, it's not even physically, he will absorb it as well. Recently we had a meeting, all of us were there. And he was ready to allow everybody to carry him. He was quiet for a long time, like wow. And then so I was trying to wonder why he was so calm, allowing people to carry him, he was not crying. And I said, oh, when he was giving birth to, he got used to voices and different hands carrying him. So it was convenient for him to allow hands. There are some children that when they were born, only the mother and the father was the person they saw. So if there's any other face, any other voice, there's a trigger. So when raising children, it's very important for parents also censor what they see, what they hear. Because at that time, they are their formative age. I've seen a movie, one baby, very small baby, baby, as in baby, everyone has a special baby thing. Maybe I read that was doing twerking. Yeah, and I put it on TikTok. Twerking.
Was it a baby or AI?
Baby, real baby. They're doing that because the mother is twerking all the time, and the baby is seeing it.
That one is extreme.
The mother does a TikTok dancer, and a lot of times she's seeing the mommy twerking on TikTok. And they also felt it's okay for them to do the video and put it on social media. So children absorb everything around us. So it's not only what we say, even what we do, what we don't say. They are seeing it. It's not by word that we raise children. It's more by doing. They absorb a lot from our attitude, our talking, the way we shout at each other, the way we. My daughter was, I'm an aggressive person. By nature, I'm a choleric to the core and sanguine. mixed together. So I'm aggressive. I'm aggressive in words, in action. That is me. Not negative aggression. It's not a negative one.
But that's not you that.
No, my aggressiveness is in success, in achievement. I want to achieve. I'm punchy. When you are with me, I want us to do something. You are slow. I get let's do. That's my nature. So even in words, when I'm trying to express myself, I'm punchy. So I realized my daughter was also becoming. I was like, where did she get it from? And I calmed down and I realized that when she was a baby, there was an accident that happened. I was going to work. I wanted to get to work on time. My daughter was driving. I read a scene in my community. I'm not sure about myself, but I really need to say it. You know, I said, let us go. She's dragging feet. I got angry. I said, you're not following me. Follow your daddy. I kicked the car. The mother was telling me, my daughter was crying. So when she started having those aggressive behavior, she has picked a lot. When she was small, when I didn't understand child protection, I was just being the African mother thing, So
Like that.
there's a movie I watched. I still trying to understand that movie. Remember the name of that very powerful movie about childhood. Now this girl grew up seeing her mom a drunkard. That was what she saw. And her mom always say, no, make sure you marry a good guy that take care of you, this. And that was how she grew. She grew up to 10. The first 7 years of the children are very important. That's their formative age. At the age of 10, I think she ran out of the home when her mother died. Or no, something happened, they separated. Now, growing up, she became a drunkard too. Became a street girl. Reckless life. Along the line, she got pregnant, had a child. But because of her drunkenness, she was so drunk one day, put her baby, she didn't have a house. She put her baby inside a carton, put rubbish inside it. They burnt that child to Jesus. It's a bad story. But I'm trying to tell you, by the time she entered into a rehab and they are trying to resuscitate her, the only thing she remembers is her childhood of seeing her mom drunk, telling her, talking to her anyhow, and the way the baby, she saw the baby getting burnt, but she was so drunk that she could not rescue the child. So, both children, even now, you may have grown up now, you have changed. But children have absorbed so much already that it's difficult for you to now reconcile what they have absorbed from what you are now. You understand? So that is why when children are still small, when at that tender age, we need to be intentional. There's no way they will still pick it up. My children know the music, but we don't play anybody music in my home. We don't. But there's no music they don't know. They now go to high school and secondary school now, and they meet with other children. But that time you are forming them, they are formative age. We must give them the real foundation of who they want, what you want them to become, who you want them to become. As they are growing up, they will begin to pick all the bits and pieces. But the formation will not leave them. That is why you see some children, they will go astray, but they always come back. That's the story of the prodigal son. They will go, but they will always come back because the formation was a good formation. But what if that child is in a home where there is no peace, no joy? No, the child will not come back. I met a young lady recently. She said she's thinking that she will not go back home. I said, why? She said because if she goes back home, her parents will want her to become a teacher, and she doesn't want to be a teacher. They have school, 4 schools, and that they will say the only thing you can do is to be a teacher, and she doesn't want to be a teacher. So now, that kid is vulnerable. So she knows she has to go home, but she doesn't want to be forced to do what she doesn't want to do, because that there's nothing she says, they will force her to do what she wants. They want her to do. They don't care about what she wants. So that kind of way, even if that child is like in danger, she'd rather be in danger than go home. That is the importance of having a home where children can always come home. We have to be sure that when raising children, we make our home homely. Even when there are misunderstanding, challenges between couples, we need to seek help. If you are having issues with your spouse, it will happen. One problem, even though we are not trying to talk about marriage, I'm not a marriage mentor, but the one thing I've seen that has been consistent why many people have issues in their marriage because you want somebody to become who you are. You marry somebody. I'm an Igbo lady. I'm married to a Yoruba. I didn't grow up eating amala. I didn't grow up eating that for anybody. But you don't need that for people in my face. It's not being rude. It's not rudeness. If I need that in my tribe, they will think you are falling down. They will think something is wrong with you. Honestly, it's not pride. We believe that only God we can kneel down to. But now, getting into another tribe, I need to learn how to do that. So, but now, if I'm married to a tribe that is not my tribe, I can't expect him to absorb, just turn to be an Igbo man over time. Neither should he expect me to just transform to a Yoruba woman overnight. That is the problem many couples are having. You want somebody to turn to you, which is never possible. What couples should do is understand that we are here to build a home, to raise children, and to partner with God. Marriage is a partnership with God. And come together, what are those things? When we were getting married, we agreed. I asked my husband, what are those things your father did to your mother that you never liked? Don't do it to me. Personally, I never saw what my mother did wrong that I never liked. But I know many women do things to their husbands. I won't do it to you. Every home, we said this already, every home is unique. It's a new generation. So discard every negative things that you have picked from your parents because you are building a new set of generation and raise healthier generation. We have really discussed a lot today. We really discussed a lot, and I really want to appreciate everybody. We have a lot more to talk about, but because of our time, we will not. We have said a lot. Even some of the things we are supposed to be talking later, we will discuss them inside our discussion. And I really appreciate us all for coming out strong and sharing all of this. I believe we have picked something that we ourselves can even use to build a healthier home, raise healthier children, protect our children around us, and make a better future. So before we close, let's quickly go to YouTube, search for Patricia Abokede and subscribe to our channel. Let's do that quickly. This program is online. Share with other people who are needed and you feel the benefit from the conversation. So as a community, we all have a role to play in raising healthy children, individually, as a community, in whatever domain you find yourself as a teacher, knowing that not all the children that come to our school are happy. Not all of them are protected. Not all of them are safe. No matter the circumstance, no matter the social status. Now, there's an idea that we have that children that are from poor homes are vulnerable children. We are all agreed that not only children from poor home that are vulnerable. We are all agreed to that. Every child somehow is vulnerable. Depending on the situation, the age of the child, the circumstances surrounding the child, and the awareness of the parent, the knowledge the parent has. All of this makes a child vulnerable. And as parents, caregivers, we should ensure that in our own way, we give the best of our children. So in one word, can we say one thing you are taking home from today's discussion? Let us share one thing you are going to be taking home from today's discussion. Couple.
Stop living.
Okay, stop living in the past. Stop living in the past, yes. Okay. Sorry? Heal in order to raise a wholesome child. There's need for us to be healed. Alright, let's continue. Pick a word that you are taking home today, haven't you?
Okay. So, we should focus on our behavior and what we say.
Yes. Let your behavior speak than what you say. Yes. Thank you for that. Okay? Lesson, what are you taking home today?
What is the real you?
The
real you, let go of the past.
yes, what will the real you? So Mitayo, what are you taking home? Okay, you said it, okay. I am not saying.
The family is very important because the family is our lives. We can
Family is very important. Okay.
Pay attention to the one child too.
Yes, that must be for each child. Very important. Rosemary. This is your way. Sorry.
I think it should be that example to the younger generation. The child himself. The example.
Rita. What are you thinking?
Heal from your trauma before you enter marriage.
It's honestly important.
But can somebody completely heal?
You is a decision.
Let go.
It's a decision. It's honestly, it's understand the assignments of marriage. Marriage is not because you are sexy, you can be productive. It's an assignment. You understand the assignments attached to marriage. You do best.
I also believe that your child may not completely even into adulthood and marriage. But the basic thing is to be self-aware. If you are aware, those things will not be able to empower you. So once you are aware, once you start to see some traits, you need to but it's not that it's completely evil. But of course, it's better to be aware before marriage, to be self-aware, and I've started working on healing, actively healing. Okay? I don't know if 100% healing is possible. But of course, if you are able to heal to a very large extent, I'm sure someone will be able to heal.
Yeah. So awareness is important. Starting that journey of healing is important. Being short and understanding that I need to heal. I need to, because if you heal, it's actually better for you. You are the one that will enjoy it more than the other person. But you know, there's a saying, the hater suffers more than the hated. The traumatized that refuse to come out of the trauma suffers more than people around you. People may pity you and say, oh, but you are the one going through the trauma. You are the one that have refused to let go. So it's very important to let go, forgive and let go. You may not forget, that's what you are saying. You may not completely forget your childhood experience, but understanding that I need to be a better person for myself. You are the most important person in the world. is you. It's not even your spouse. Because what can make a relationship to grow is individual identifying that I'm important in this relationship. And then working on yourself. I work on myself, you work on yourself, we are going to have a healthy relationship. But when everybody is holding on, you are holding on to your part, I'm holding on to my part, I'm not seeing my part, I don't want you to let go. I'll keep hurting you, keep hurting you. But if you understand that, okay, I need to let go, I need to grow.
You know, everybody was sharing maybe some things that they brought from their childhood, do their own parents did. I can't really say this is what my parents did. It's not that people will beat us. If you fail in school, you say some nasty things to you. He may tell you, don't come to this house when you fail, don't establish. Or once you pass, you say, yes, I said it. You know, I know you should pass. You know that kind of thing. So by the time daddy does that, you know, you feel on top of the world. So that was why I wanted to support what she was saying. That, okay, mommy will do all the costly and everything. Or she will still say some good things. And maybe the good things she said overrode the negative things. So I've seen people who say, if my daddy had done better, or if my daddy had done this, I will tell them, okay, but now that you are where you are, and I was one of those things, I can't even say this was what my daddy did that I did not like. I can't say. And I've always discovered that, maybe because I'm a Christian, I'm a child of God, I know that if God has a purpose for you, things will always work out according to His plan. My father felt this timid one, this one, Tiko like Dara, Tiko like Gaja, so go read education. I was pained because it was one who usually filled the account forms for us then. So he wrote education for me. I should go to English education. So later, we spoke about it recently. He said, I just felt I didn't want to trouble you. I just felt, oh, she cannot go through Wala. So let me just do something that she'll be able to get a job quickly. So he just filled that for me. So when I got to school, I told my mom, I don't like what that difficult. I don't want to read education. I don't want to be a teacher. He said, hey, you can't change it yourself. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so when I got to school, and that's, we should, I don't know if we are those that we should pray that our children will be smart. And it's also good that we pray and help our children to know God anyways. So when I got to school, English education, but I wanted to do communication. So in education then, you can combine subjects. We are teaching subjects, major and minor. So English was my major. I then felt, okay, I want to combine with some communication. Today I cannot do communication mainstream. Let me combine my English and communication. So I ended up reading English CLE. There were things that discouraged me from this because CLE wasn't, you will hardly get high marks in CLE. That's you said? Mainly 2 units courses. So I combined English with CLE. So that was how I was able to, of course, to have the knowledge of the communication I wanted to do. And so when I went to service, during my service year, orientation camp, I wanted to do radio. So I went to the OBS, called the Orientation Broadcasting Service. That was where the career actually started from. When I came back, and yes, it's just God. You know, I was able to meet the person that was the chairman of the radio board where I work now. So I had a guardian in school who said, hey, let's go and meet Baba Bibani. We went there. I want to do radio. Okay, come. You know, he handed me over to our coordinator there. As soon as I was employed as an adult staff in my office back then. But because I really wanted to do this thing, I then felt, okay, and anything I want to do, I want to know about what I want to do. So without anybody telling me, I just said, I want to do radio. I intentionally went to enroll at the training school, Radio Nigeria, by myself. You know, I went. By the time I came back, it was an adult appointment. If not for God, maybe they would have said, okay, we are back. So wait. They still did it in such a way that they employed me. You know, I continued until I had a regularized job. And the government employed me and then I began all of that. So in the end, once even if somebody had said you can't do this, I don't know who taught me that anyways, but I just want to put my mind into what I think I can do. Despite that you say I cannot do it. What my daddy wants is for you to succeed. Do you understand? So once you are able to prove to him that you can do this thing and you bring results from, if I had told Daddy that I want to say hey, I lost my fire, maybe he would not allow me then. But when I got to school, he didn't have a say over what I would pick as my random course. So now that's it. Therefore, along the line, when I went back home and said I wanted to do this, I wanted to do this, once they had seen that level of, it's as if she knows what she wants to do. It just leaves us. When my younger brother to do politics, nobody had done politics in my head. Though campus politics anyways. He told my younger brother that even if nobody would support campaign, even if everybody was discussing the kind of church I attend, they would not like to do politics. So he went to my house telling that Pastor so says, you don't mind all of them. Once I'm here, if nobody supports, I'm here. And you know, when Daddy says, I'm not. Then there's a level of confidence that he gives. When I took my husband home, my daddy said, I have other two sisters. My dad said, if those other two sisters say, follow them. And my dad was very successful. Okay, that you follow me, I'm taking somewhere that you will like, yes, I'm telling them that. Doesn't know what they're taking out to. I can't trust them 100%. But if it's me, you know, there's a way those things still ring up till now. That if it's me, that you close it twice. You understand? So even every time I remember that, I was like, okay, maybe there's something he sees in me.
That summarizes the part of what we say to our children.
But you said terrible things too.
Well, it might say terrible things, but you decided to build on the negative things. You know that you can have children that grow up in the same environment, the same home, the same situation, and one comes out better, one comes out bad. Because of the choices they make. No matter what happens, what anybody says to you, whatever circumstances you find yourself, your choice. We all have the ability to make choices. That is one thing God gave us that makes us outstanding. No matter anything, even God allows you to make your choice. God knows what's best for you, but it's only to choose. So the choices we make in life also affect our experiences in life, our choices. So when we decide, even our children we are raising, that is why we should raise children as our resilience, so that they can make right choices. So when we are also talking to our children or praying for them, pray that they should make right choices. It's because you can't choose for them all the time. He was not there. You are the same thing like Afela who went to read medicine and you chose to sing. You are the same thing. You are both, you make choices. We decided to choose music, and music led into so many things. You decided to use communication in your course, and the communication you chose took you different. Do you understand? So when we are raising children, number one is be a good role model. Show them the right thing. Give them platform to grow, to develop to a matured, responsible person. Fail. Yes, also to fail and learn from the failing. Like I said in one of your programs, that when we are raising children, we're not raising children for ourselves. We're raising children for other people. Your children are not your property. Your children, you are only a custodian to nurture them, raise them, and present them to the world. So don't raise children as if they're your property. They are not yours. You are only there to guide them. Some people are grown, very old. None of their children is close to them. Other people are not taking care of them. Children are all scattered abroad, but they are still living healthy. They have people around them who are taking care of them. So our children don't belong to us. You are raising a girl child. It's not you won't marry your girl child. Somebody else will marry your girl child. You're raising a male child. Somebody, you will not marry your boy child because I spent so much money on him and you will have to marry me. That is not possible. Somebody else will marry your child. So we are not raising the children for ourselves. They are not our property. So have it in mind as a parent that these children will go out to the world. But what is our certificate? The kind of adults you eventually formed. The person they become at the long run, the certificate of your parenthood. That they finish, you train them well, they become resourceful for themselves, for the family, for the society, and for the world. That makes you, that is when you can say, yes, I've parented my children well. It's not when they are very small. So it's even beyond us. It's beyond your efforts. It's a function of yourself, the society, and God factor. So we can't take God out of all of these things. So in conclusion, we want to appreciate everybody who have made effort to be here. I would like you also to, because this program is in partnership with Grip Network and we serve PR. So it's not, we're not doing it alone as Abokede. I see the thing in front of you there. So I'll send you the Grip Network for you to help us to review what you have done today and give us a review. Give us 5-star review. I'll send it to you personally with the attendance so that you help us to review and rate us well what we have done so far. So I hope we all had a nice time in this.
Now we'll be in the best place.
Now. I hope you had a nice time. Did you enjoy the session? Yes, Alright, our next big step, the project we are looking forward to, we want to distribute 30,000 copies of this book by December 2029. It's a book that was written by me. Save and Smart Glory and Adventure. We're not asking for money, we're looking for grants for that, so put up your prayers. We want to distribute 30,000 copies. The next 3 years, that's the benchmark, we can do more than that. Alright. So, we also want to train 3,000 parents on breaking the cycle of child abuse. So we can't do this alone, we need you. Some of you are school owners. Invite us to your school. Let's do this together. Let's train your parents, your teachers. Some of the schools here are already invited us already. So let's plan for them. I will mention them. Let's appreciate Team View. We have invited us to train their parents. Most gates too have invited us to train their parents. And your teachers, we still want to have a connection with your parents. And Team View as well. Let's do this thing together. See, the world we are now, the competition is too much for parents. The competition is not even the stranger beside you, it's the internet. And when we get it right, because I don't know my son will marry, I don't know my daughter will marry. So I want them to marry well. But this small talk, we are trying to break the chain. We are breaking the chain and we are connecting the one that we need to connect. We are breaking the ones we need to break. Despite perpetual grace, we want you to invite us to your school. Let us come and train your teachers and your parents. We are not collecting money. Did we collect money from you? You gave us what you have. But we also want to, if we are closing.
We're not even that.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you. So, we want you to buy our resource materials. All we need is to just buy the training materials. And we are giving it at a very discounted price. The cumulative of that training, what we give out is about 50,000 naira. We give it as low as 3,000 naira. Even though most of them people are not buying. But we want you to please, let us work with you. Let's work together as a team. We all understand now that it's not something what anybody can do together. This is our coordinator, Child Protection Network. We lost a 15 years old child. 15 years old child who got pregnant from an elderly man. You know, a lot of them, this is just one. There's another case that was going viral, 13-year-old girl. China, a lot of cases like that. Now, it's not some of them, it's not like this is a Now the thing is that some of these things, it's not that I'm not giving an excuse for them. Some of them are not even thinking abuse. They did not even know they abuse those girls. They may not think it's an abuse. They will think they are just having a nice time taking care of the little girl. It's when you step in, they realize that they have done what is wrong. So education is important to us. Some people don't know.
And not those living with the 13 years.
Some people don't know. Maybe those days our parents are marrying their friend's daughter. So the people still now they have not understood that. They still feel okay, the girl is vulnerable and taking care of her and she has to pay back. So education. We need to keep educating. The girl I mentioned that her parents insist she must do whatever they want. Is it from a professor? The father is a professor, and mother is the retired school administrator, and they still lack knowledge. So we want to meet as many parents as possible to be able to work together and break the cycle of child abuse. Thank you, everybody. Okay, sir.
Thank you for this opportunity, ma'am. I got to know about this program. I got invited here as a parent in US Staff School, and coincidentally, the program was very close to my school here. So it wasn't very difficult for me to locate this place. It's the place I've been to every day when I come home. I work at the ladies beside the Anglican Catholic Church here. So I've worked at Madina College before. So most of the things that we have had here that we have discussed here are things that I've experienced practically as a teacher. We have experienced get child living with their siblings, elderly ones, and being slept with by the husband, the spouse of the sister. So just this week, just in this my school, my principal called us. We have something we call HOS, head of school. So the one in charge of all SS1, the one in charge of SS3. So she called all of us and was relating a story with us about a 16-year-old girl who was caught staining the toilets with a cloth of blood, and the girl is suspected to have had abortion. So, and when the sister was called, we got to know that she just brought her from the east and got her enrolled in our school. And this girl is suspected to have had abortion. And the sister just took her away without any explanation as to what has happened. So the school does not know anything. And I was talking to the principal that if there is a way, I didn't even know I would be coming here. So if there is a way we can get in contact with okay, that we can be coming around to come and speak with our students, especially the girls, because they are going through a lot. Yeah. So they are going through a lot, and we need professionals that can get them speaking, to get them tell us what they are going through in the different. So I was thinking in that direction, like, is it possible that you should be coming to our school?
It's possible.
And we just said it that can invite
That's my number.
Yeah. So maybe I'll speak with my principal. One of these days, we organize our teachers to come and speak with the teachers, and if possible.
It's not only the girls, we want to talk to the boys. Because when we train the girls finish, the boys will told them.
I even want to share something that I did personally.
We have to go.
And I want to, maybe, since it's a gathering of child protection, maybe we can rate it.
Go ahead.
I felt that even in the training of the girl child, for instance, what I did in my home was, I started talking to my girl before she started having her periods, So she had been anticipating, she had wanted to start the period.
She'll be tired.
So, and even before, I told the boy, okay, girls have period, they see blood, so they're pathetic. If you have a girl in your class, in a period, yes, you can even help her. One of us are laughing at her, don't laugh. You can help her get a pad and all. So when the girl eventually started the period, the day I was talking to, I don't know why I just felt comfortable. I did not say, okay, don't come on this. Maybe because I spoken with them both about it before. The girl came back and was asking, okay, my friend in class asked, how do periods come? So I was explaining, you have ovaries, you have eggs, you have fallopian tube, you have your womb and everything. So the boy was there, he was listening too. So later, the thing is not fertilizing. blood comes down, and that's why you have a period, your man and everything. God was there, attentive, you know. But I guess the era of don't take the boy away when you're
We have
talking
stopped
to
that now.
So
Let
we
the
should
boys
feel comfortable
Yes.
to share what happens to the female, even when the male
Yes.
is there.
Everybody needs to be informed. Even this matter of paternity and X chromosome, Y chromosome, they should know from secondary school that it's not the girl that dominates the sex, the gender is the boy. Because they still
That
it's
is
not
better
the
for you to have taught them at home.
same.
The way you teach them at home is usually better than when they hear from outside. And learning from home. Let it not be a strange thing, like you
Yes.
said.
Now the boy is in puberty, he's not yet in his puberty stage. So I don't now know how comfortable I will feel to want to start sharing what happened to the wedding of the boy. When they get
Carry the father. My
I don't
son.
like sharing.
No, there you go. But it has to be together.
It's usually the mother that
You know
protects it too.
what? My son, I would discuss puberty even when they were still pre-puberty. When he was going to have pubic hair, it was me you came to show. Mommy, see hair is growing. He will say, Mommy, this is happening to me. I said, I don't have that part of my body. That part you are talking about, I don't know. I didn't know that men feel pain when they are growing their breast. I didn't know. So my son that his breast is paining him. I said, yeah, breast is not going up. Go and ask your daddy said, it's happened. I said, I did not know. So carry your husband along. Maybe not always. Maybe not always. But at least because I have opened up enough. So because of
we have it, it will not go down. Something like that. Some will go down.
In fact, when he doesn't wear his t-shirt, his shirt, the way the breast is forming, like it's so obvious that this breast is growing. So I know so much to talk about puberty, but I didn't know so much that even boys have breast pain. So carry your husband along. You know, it's also important. No, this thing we shouldn't do it alone. Don't be the only person your children can come to when it comes to sexual matters. Don't be the only one. And in fact, it just have to be done together. We have passed the stage where the man feels, I want money, go and take care of them. Please, we have passed that stage. You can groom your husband if he doesn't know. No, we are true. We are true. You can groom your husband if he didn't grow to know. And you can also groom your wife. My daddy taught my mom how to cook so many dishes. Easy. But my mom didn't, she only knew how to cook traditional food. My dad's cooking intercontinental food. He taught my mom. So there's no harm in teaching each other.
No gender roles.
No.
One last question.
Let's.
They said one girl was locked in so that she would not miss or something.
Okay.
I wanted to find out now. But some parents would, my own house for instance, we live in a remote area. It's a developing place and it's usually very quiet. No, now, my children. So when I'm going out and my husband is around, we lock them in. But there's but you would know that it's even safer to lock them in and to allow them to go out. It's usually a very it's a remote place that you hardly see. You can stay for hours and you don't see anyone around. All around us. So what I usually tell the children, you may not know who is locking around. You expect them to stay in. Don't do anything outside. Our house, we don't have a fence, but we have this house that we have the veranda that is barricaded. What's it called? Bulletproof veranda. So you can lock that. You can play in the veranda. You can go in, come out, but don't step out.
It's not like this one that.
And this one, what was it? So I do not go
Overprotection.
because I feel if a parent who has a place that is safe around, okay, you can stay here while I go out. When I come, I'll pick you from here. Would ordinarily not
do that.
They were afraid.
The thing is that all these things, the childhood experience can make you become overprotective, become over-parenting, or even laissez faire. It can form who you are. That is why you need to be and you need to be informed. Before you decide to be a parent, you also have to go through parenting school. That's one thing we don't do. We just enter into parenting.
We go to marriage school.
We should learn on the job. You should learn. There should be platform. We are creating all of those things. We are having a parents education platform where people can learn to be a parent before they enter parents. You can't learn everything, but basic knowledge before you enter marriage. Have basic knowledge about marriage. People who get married think everything will be rosy, 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 rosy. When children start coming, start very darker. You think you didn't factor in the marriage. Wahala don't start. So all of these things, people should have pre-knowledge before entry. So can we declare together? I choose to parent.
I choose to parent
From a youth place.
from a youth place.
Not a hot one.
Not a hot one.
I choose to parent.
I choose to parent
From a youth place.
from a youth place.
Not a hot one.
Not a hot one.
So I pray that all of us we carry this message out beyond this place and be better parents, better child protectors, better caregivers in everything we do. So before we go, we're going to have a group picture. And then Mr. David is my content manager. He wants to interview one of you, maybe 2 or 3 people, just get a view of what you learned and all of that. Please let them to cooperate. The team will come to you. So, but let us pray. Closing prayer. That was an opening prayer. So, Emma should help us to pray now.